Patrick Dumont adding to the reasons he and Nico Harrison believe that this trade was the one that they needed to make. Your reaction to those comments for Patrick Dumont?
I mean, look, I think I've consistently said this to you guys, that to me, Patrick is as responsible for this as anyone. Obviously, we know this was Nico's idea. Nico Harrison was the driving force. Anthony Davis was the player Nico Harrison wanted. But I'm sorry, Patrick Dumont is the owner who's been in the NBA for 5 minutes. You were not qualified to sign off yes or no on this trade. And you have no NBA network to discuss this with anyone else. And I think when you listen to these comments today, that's painfully obvious. That, again, we should point out this interview was taped exactly a month ago today on February 13th, and we're just now seeing this video. But when you watch the whole video, the lack of NBA knowledge punches you in the face. And look, Mark Cuban is the one who publicly said that he will retain operational control of the front office. And that proved to be very much not the case. Mark said it publicly. Patrick Dumont, when asked about it, he only gave really one interview before last season's finals. He gave one sit down to the Dallas Morning News, to Brad Townsend. He danced around the question. He didn't answer it directly. He never really commented on whether that was indeed his arrangement with Mark Cuban. But I'm sure you guys remember this. In December of 2023, the sale wasn't even a month old. I reported that there was nothing in writing. Mark Cuban had nothing in writing to say that he would retain operational control. And then I've subsequently reported by the last trade deadline, by February 2024, when the Mavericks made the trades for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, by that point, Mark Cuban was already not calling the shots. There was no formal agreement, and clearly the Dumont and Adelson families did not recognize that there was even a handshake agreement. And by last February already, Nico was completely running basketball operations. And that's fine. And ownership, that's the way they wanted to do it. But by taking that path and just push, look, when Mark Cuban said he would retain basketball operations, there was tons of skepticism citywide. I don't know that many of us expected it to last very long, if at all. But because of the close relationship between Cuban and Dumont and the Adelson family, I never imagined that he would be pushed to the side completely, to the point that when this trade was made in February of 2025, they didn't consult him at all. Patrick Dumont, with no NBA network, didn't at least say, you know what? Mark Cuban is the one NBA lifer I know. Let me run this past him. Mark, this is what my GM wants to do. Tell me what you think. Patrick Dumont didn't take that step. He didn't, to our knowledge, unless there's some mystery, consultation that has not revealed itself yet. Who did he consult? Who else besides Nico Harrison did he consult? And he signed off on the trade, to my knowledge, without asking for any outside counsel, which he clearly badly needed. And that is a big element of where the Mavericks are today. And based on all the reporting I've done, by the time they finally went to Cuban, the deal was basically agreed. And when Cuban heard it and basically told them, guys, you can't do this, the deal was agreed to and it was happening. And Patrick Dumont had signed off on the deal. So the GM wanted to make the trade, and Patrick Dumont gave his GM full support, which on one hand, that's what you want owners to. You don't want owners making these decisions. You want owners to let the basketball people make the decision. But this trade was so seismic, and as new as the Dumonts are to basketball, he has sat courtside a zillion times. He surely understood not only how good Luka was, but how many home games was he at? 10, 20? I mean, it wasn't, you didn't exactly need a PhD in the NBA to realize that this city revolved around Luka Dončić from a sporting perspective. I mean, even Cowboys are saying that, right?
Yeah. CD is.
Yeah.
CD Lamb just came out and said this killed the city.
We all silly like the mayor.